Hey guys, it's Jen and I'm back with another process video using my Felicity Jane kits. Today I am using mostly the July Going Places kit. I'm starting with this I just cut out some words on my silhouette cameo and I'm going to back them with some patterned paper. And it says, "No, I'm too comfy." So this layout is about a time when I was in the living room and I said, "Malia, come in the living room, please." And she said, "No, I'm too comfy." So I went to her room and she was sitting there crocheting in a nest of blankets in her bed. It was hilarious. And so I wanted to document that. I'm just going through the papers and literally trying every single paper behind those words. I thought about backing them with different patterns, but I want to go, I think, with a single pattern. So I'm literally trying every single paper that I have in my stash. And I really love the way that this stripe paper from the Going Places kit looks with the words, because each line has two colors on it, and I really like the way it looks. So I am going to do that. I'm thinking that I want to back the entire white piece with a border of another paper, and I'm going to go with that floral, which is also from the Going Places kit, and I really love that floral. So I'm going to end up cutting out the center of that. Before I do that, I'm going to look through some of my products, and I keep all of my Felicity Jane kits together because a lot of the colors coordinate nicely, and I keep the packaging because the packaging works well for so many things. And so I'm just going through and I keep them in an iris container, and I've just taken the tray out of the case, and I will link to the iris container and the tray over on my blog. I get a lot of questions about those, and you can get them on Amazon or you can get them over at Michael's. So I'm just going through some of the die cuts, and I am just pulling out a bunch of things that I think might work. So this is how I generally go through my stuff, is I'll pull out everything that might work, and then I'll eliminate things from there. I really love the process of going through my die cuts. I know for some people that's a pain and a chore to have to do that, but for me, it's one of the things I love about scrapbooking is looking through all my stuff. So I pull out a bunch of things, and the die cuts are going to be from various kits, but it's all from Felicity Jane. And Felicity Jane is a cool kit club because almost everything in the kits is exclusive, so it's like getting a mini collection each month, and I really like that. This month in the kit, we got something really cool. It is like a little, what do you call it? Like a bolt or a spool of fabric. And it's like ripped on the edges, and I think different kits got different colors. I got this kind of peachy color. I've seen other people that have gotten like a teal color, and it's just really cute. A kind of a different addition that you don't normally see. And so I am going to use some of that. I'll pull it back out here in a second. So like I mentioned, I'm gutting that floral paper, and then I just trimmed down the white piece of cardstock by 1/2 inch on either side, and I'm going to glue that down. And I'm using my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle to just dot some adhesive around these letters, and then I will place that on top of the lined paper. And I'm just taking care to make sure that the two different colors show in each word. Not word, but each line of words. And I'm just using some adhesive to glue down that onto the background. And I'm going to take my sewing machine and just stitch around the edges. And I'm going to use black thread because I wanted a contrast. The colors of this layout are pretty soft, but often when I have some soft colors like that, I like to have a pop of something dark. And so I'm using the black thread for a bit of contrast. And just doing a straight stitch all the way around the outside edge, and then I'm using a piece of washi tape to secure that down. And then I'm roughing up the edges just with my fingernails. I've mentioned before that I know people have gotten paper cuts by doing this, but I continue to do it because I just like the control that I have when I do that. So here's that fabric I was talking about, and I'm just cutting it, and then I'm pulling a few threads off the cut edge so that it looks more like I ripped it. Fabric usually only rips one direction, and it's already been ripped in the direction it can rip, if that makes sense. So I'm just creating a photo mat with the 3 pieces, and I'm going to trim that one down a little bit more. I want them not to be exactly even, but that one was just a little bit too long. So I'm going to mount my photo with just a really thin border of white cardstock because I want it to pop against that melon color. And so I'm just doing a really thin border and using my Fiskars trimmer. And I like the way that pops a lot more. So now I'm going to go through my different die cuts and embellishments and kind of decide what I want to do. I pulled out that speech bubble, and what I want to do is go ahead and type up a phrase. I think I went to do that, and I apologize for not turning off the camera while I did that. But I'm going over to my typewriter to type up what I said to Malia. So I typed up, "Malia, come over here, please," on my typewriter. And I thought that I would just place or cut out those words and place them on top of the speech bubble. I didn't really like the way that it was looking with the white words on top of that. And so I decided to glue that piece, or, temporarily adhere that speech bubble to another piece of paper and run the actual speech bubble through my typewriter. You could do the same thing on your printer, just adhere the speech bubble to a piece of printer paper and then send it through your printer as well. So I'm just typing that up, and I apologize again for not turning off the camera while I do that. I love having my typewriter because I'm too lazy to get on the computer. So although I did get on the computer to cut out the silhouette thing, so I'm hit or miss. I did on white type up a little thing that said her. So it says, "Me, Malia, come over here, please." And then it says her. No, I'm too comfy. So now I'm looking through some of the Felicity Jane stamps to see what I can add to the bottom of that speech bubble because those words didn't take up very much space at all. And so I'm just going to stamp in Close to My Heart archival black ink a little arrow so that it points your eye to what she said. And then I think I'm going to look through the stamps for some other things that I might include. So I'm just going to flip through. Seriously, the stamps are my favorite part of the Felicity Jane kits. They're just so cute and very versatile and lots of words, which is great for scrapbooking. So I found, I can't remember what month this stamp set is from. Oh, it's from the Just Saying kit, whatever month that was. And I'm going to use some of those. Before I do that, I'm going to play around with some tags and see if I want to add those anywhere. I thought about adding like a little cluster of tags for that speech bubble to sit on, but I just wasn't liking the way it was looking. I'm going to use a few of the word strips that came in the July kit. It says, "Laughable, follow your happy, and home." And then I'm also using a few things layered up on the side of the photo, just a few more die cuts. One of them's a tab, and one of them is actually a larger piece that says hello on the bottom of it, which I'll end up cutting off. And then I thought that Everyday Moments was perfect for what this was because it was an everyday moment. And I forgot to turn my video camera on. I turned it off and then I forgot to turn it back on. So what you missed was me outlining all of those letters with my Muji pen. And I outlined on the inside of the letters just so they'd stand out more. And then on the O's, I also outlined on the outside of the letters. And then I also outlined around the edges of the paper strips and the speech bubble. So now I'm just writing my journaling, telling that story. And I also added a flare that says AM, PM. And this was in like around 11 o'clock. It wasn't in the morning, but it wasn't in the evening. So I put AM face up, and then so now I've got Everyday Moments, which is kind of a heavy bit of black at the top. Then I've got that AM, PM flare, and I knew I wanted to add a little bit of black to the bottom. So I'm going to add some stamping. I stamped all kinds of awesome, and I circled stamped this little circle. It like circles the words with black. And then I'm also going to find another stamp. I'm going to stamp a couple of arrows in some Glacier ink from Close to My Heart. And it's a nice soft blue color at the top and the bottom. And then I'm also going to find a stamp that says Creative and stamp that in black at the bottom. And that's from the I Am kit stamp set. And I will add that here in a minute. I added that arrow at the top, and then I felt like I needed something to balance it at the bottom because now the bottom doesn't have as much stuff on it as the top does. So that's why I decided to stamp the word Creative. Also, I wanted a bit of a heavier shot of black down there. So I'm just stamping it in my Close to My Heart black ink, and the font matches kind of the scripty font at the top. So I like the way it kind of brings that together. And now I'm just going to splatter some mist. I'm going to use Studio Calico Taxi, Splash, and I can't remember what the pink is. They're not available anymore, but I use kind of a corally pink, a bright yellow, and then that aqua color. So you could use any colors that are similar. And I think that is going to complete the layout. I used my Chamel Roller Date Stamp to stamp the date over on the right of the photo on that little tab. And that is going to complete it. If you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment, and you can find much more information as well as links to all the products that I used that were not part of the kit over on my blog at CraftyJenScow.com. And I also have links to where else you can find me on the internet. So thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.